Hello, mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome in to the Keep It 100 podcast. I'm your host, Casey Huckle. I want to thank you for tuning in. And in this introduction, I'd like to obviously tell you what Keep It 100 is all about. So there are many lines, quotes, sayings, expressions, idioms, adages, truisms, pieces of advice, etc. that I live by and have much gratitude for. And that's what gave birth to this podcast, Keep It 100. I want to celebrate these lines for giving me more perspective on life. Maybe you're thinking, why am I calling this podcast Keep It 100? Well, it comes down to math. For the next year, I'll drop 2 episodes per week, focusing on one quote per episode to celebrate, where I'll dive into its history, including whom it's credited to, who popularized the line if that's necessary, and the context surrounding the quote if that's available. And lastly, I'll explain what it means to me. So you might be wondering what about the math. Well, 2 episodes a week for a year leaves 104 episodes. But just like you, I need 2 weeks of vacation. So for the next year, I'm keeping it 100 for y'all. These lines could be from a song, a speech, a poem, the Bible, maybe even from me. So without further ado, let's begin. Moderation. Everything in moderation. Moderation in all things. Moderation, like honesty, is the best policy. And I will try to show you why that is the case. It's very broad. Obviously, it's not going to be easy. But I will try to pare any of my talking down. I actually won't say much. It won't be a long episode here of Keep It 100. But this goes back to when every now and then I hear everything in moderation. You know, I had too much to drink. Everything in moderation. Oh, I overate. Everything in moderation. I got excessively this. I got too that. I didn't get enough sleep. I got too much sleep. I'm too hot. I'm too cold. Moderation, obviously that's why I picked this, is definitely the way to go, as tough as it is for me to kind of accept. To me, moderation is it's boring, and as competitive as I am, I feel like, falling in the middle of the pack or being average or something like that isn't really that appealing to me. And that explains why I chose this. It's not really a quote, I'd say. It's just more of a piece of advice. I looked up, obviously, there's a lot of quotes on moderation. Not really any like one special person who coined it or said anything about moderation, but it goes back to Greece as a lot of things, a lot of wisdom, a lot of philosophy, a lot of things from the English language were derived from that time, from Greek and from Greco-Roman times. And I heard it also, moderation's a virtue, temperance, and yeah, we need moderation in everything to survive. And maybe it's just God's way of telling us, if you have too little or too much of something, that means that someone else has the opposite. If you have too much of this, there's not enough for someone else. If you don't have enough of this, maybe it's because someone else had too much. And the key to survival is empathy, and thus moderation. So I don't have like past episodes, I don't really have a specific story or example from my life where I learned that moderation was the key. But I think over time I realized that I could get in trouble when I slept too much, even though I thought like insomnia was an issue. Sleeping too much can be an issue too, and overeating tends to be a problem for me, and definitely drinking too much for a lot of people. And I think that's where addiction can come in. and that's why people preach moderation in all things. One quote that stuck out to me was Oscar Wilde's "moderation in all things, including moderation," which I don't know really what that means. Moderation in moderation. So that's what I have for y'all. I was also gonna say that. The other quote that I enjoy is one by Stephanie Meyer, wrote the Twilight Saga. Here's to responsibility twice a week. That stuck out to me because twice a week she must write. Twice a week I do this podcast. I make 2 episodes a week, so that was interesting to me personally. But yeah, just remember moderation. I'm sure it's not that difficult or esoteric to understand. So yeah, moderation whenever you can. You get a slow burn, you'll live longer, live healthier. So keep 100 and keep it moderate. See y'all. Wait. Hold up. Before you go, I'm going to ask you if you could please, pretty please, with a cherry on top, rate and review Keep It 100 on iTunes and or Apple Podcasts. Just like you, I need attention, and to get this off the ground, it needs to be rated and reviewed so that it may one day show up in the new and noteworthy section of iTunes, and maybe could take off from there, and I could quit my day job. But enough about marketing. Again, my name is Casey Huckle. I'm done marketing myself. Oh, the podcast is Keep It 100. I swear I'm done. All right. Thanks. Cheers.